celebration of life. Get your daily balances, Kim Jacobs conjure way. We're here to open your eyes, making your day great and your life even better. Say, oh, daily balance, get your daily balance. Daily balance, get your daily balance with Kim.
Thank you so much, band. Hello, thanks so much for being here. Are you guys excited today? Well, I'm excited. I am so excited about today's program. I want to introduce you all to a dear friend of mine. She's a wife, a mother, a television host, a former actress and beauty queen. She is also well known for her charitable work on behalf of women and children. Her husband is also here with her. Now, you may have heard of him. He's enjoyed an illustrious football career, a professional football career, with the Dallas Cowboys, which included 3 Super Bowl championships. He is the NFL all-time leading rusher with over 18,000 yards and was the NFL most valuable player for Super Bowl 28. The list of his accomplishments, that's right, the list of his accomplishments are great. The list goes on and on and on and on. And in addition to all of that, he was also Dancing with the Stars champion in 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friends Emmit and Pat Smith. Hey, girl! Nice to see you. I'm so glad to see you, Emmit. Thanks so much. Nice to have you guys on.
Good to be here.
Oh my God!
It's
Where
great
we
to be here,
guys?
Girl, I'm just start here. I'm so proud of you, Kim.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
This is amazing what you're doing.
Far cry from our college days. Huh?
I know. Look, high five, girl.
Look what you're doing in life. My God, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks,
Well, just so
Kim.
you all know, Pat and I went to college together at James Madison University, and I am just so proud of all of the great things that's happened in your life. So I'm so glad to have you here. You're looking mighty, mighty fine.
Oh, well, you know what? He keeps me happy.
Oh, good. We're going to definitely talk about you, too. Oh, she's
That's
trying to
my
get brownie points.
Girl,
Points.
it's the truth. I'm
has it.
blessed.
She
I'm
has
really
brownie
blessed.
Good. Well, Emmitt, with you being here, I know we're going to talk today about how to balance life as a blended family. So that's what our show topic is today. But can't have you here, Emmitt, without talking about just a little teeny bit of football.
That's fine. Football. We can talk about football.
We can?
Yes, we
okay,
can.
where do
Yes,
we
can.
begin with you? NFL's all-time rushing leader, the only running back to ever win Super Bowl championship, the NFL MVP, NFL rushing crown, and the Super Bowl MVP all in the same season.
Did I do all that?
You might have. You tell
Really?
us about that. Where do we go?
Well, you know, for me, transitioning from the game is such an important thing.
Yes.
And right now, I'm in the business of real estate.
Oh, okay.
Football was I've always looked at football as a vehicle to carry me to the next destination. And my next destination now has been the chosen field of real estate development. And so even though we're in a challenging economical time, my company is actually out looking for acquisition, trying to find distressed properties. Unfortunately, there are some people out there that are finding themselves in distressful situations, and which creates an opportunity for others. That's just the way the game works. It's not something that I wish upon someone, but we're looking for those opportunities.
Well, I'm proud of you. So you've completely we're going to do a show about drastic career changes. So technically, that's a drastic career change, huh?
Not really. Not really, because I feel so fulfilled for what I was able to get accomplished in the game of football. I mean, you talk about some of the things that I was able to accomplish, whether it's high school, even college, and at the professional level. I am a fortunate person and a blessed man because I've been able to accomplish just about every goal that I've set out for in my entire life.
Well, that's amazing.
And so I'm happy with that regard, but I feel like that was just the beginning. I have 40, 50, 60 more years of living to do.
Oh, claim it.
And so, ultimately, it's just to be able to go out and be a productive citizen, provide for my family, and become a very, very astute businessman and a humanitarian in some kind of way.
Well, you're well on your way doing a phenomenal job. Where did you actually start when it came to for the love of football? Where did you develop that love?
Well, I believe it began at a very young age with my father and my cousins playing football and watching football on television, seeing how interested my family members were in the game. And then they taking them taking my brothers and I out to play football and practice and teach us the game of football, and then actually going out and just doing it. Just something that I like to tell people, football actually chose me.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of ways, but my heart has always been drawn to the sport. I saw it as a way to leave an environment that was very challenging, not necessarily within our household, but just the economical imbalance at the time was so challenging. I felt like this was the way for me to leave and go out and get a higher education and perhaps make a lot of money someday, make my mom and dad proud, provide them with things, and you know that's the way I looked at it.
Oh, you know what? Emmett says things in such a modest manner. He's like, yeah, you know, just make an impact and all of this stuff. You've done way more than that. Even just in college, you owned 58 records at the conclusion of your Florida career. This stuff is like earth-shattering, isn't it? Unbelievable. So how did you do that?
Well,
break every record there is known to mankind.
As a football player, you never set out to truly break records. You really set out your goal. My goals were to be NCAA champion, but that never happened. To be an SEC champion, that never happened. I played on some teams that were pretty mediocre. When I say mediocre, yes, we had above 500 wins, but it wasn't enough. I mean, we were 6-5, 7-4, things like that. We played in a couple bowl games, never a New Year's Day bowl game. So that's how my college career was. And plus, there was such turnover. Coaches leaving, offensive coordinators leaving all 3 years that I was in college. And then at the end of my junior year, my head coach, Galen Hall, got fired, and then Steve Spurrier came in. And that's when I found myself in limbo. I had to make a decision, whether to stay in school and finish my senior year or transition on over to the National Football League. And I chose to transition on over to the National Football League.
So if you had to tell everyone what was one thing that you took away from the game, what would that be?
You know, I think the ultimate thing that I took away from the game is that it is the ultimate team sport. To me, it is the best metaphor of life. Because here in football, you have 11 guys on offense and 11 guys on defense. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what size you are, even though many people said I was too small and too slow.
Well,
and
then
all
weren't
this.
they wrong?
Yeah, a lot of people were wrong in that regard. But what I love about it is everybody put down their petty differences and they came together as a team. And coming together as a team, that means that you have one thing in mind, that's the same common goal, and that's to win. And so you're willing to sacrifice for the next man to your right or left to make that happen. Spend the time studying your playbooks, making sure that you're not the weak link on the football field. That's what I loved about the game. And when you win, we all celebrated together. When we lost, we all cried together. And we slaved together, we sweated together, we did all the things that we needed to do to build that team and bring that team atmosphere to that locker room.
Wow.
That's what I love about football.
That's great. And that's very inspirational for people to hear, especially those that are actually aspiring to be great NFL players one day.
A lot of people aspire to do great things in life, and a lot of people are trying to figure out ways to make that happen. It all begins with a focus, and it all also begins with a commitment. But you have to have a vision. You have to see yourself doing great things in order to make that happen.
Excellent. We have high-five moments on Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs. We got high-five moments. Awesome. And you know what, Pat, I know that with you have such outstanding accomplishments yourself.
You're biased.
Oh, I'm very biased. Very biased.
Jam, you in the house.
JMU.
in the house.
You are the first African-American woman to win the Miss Virginia USA title and the first runner-up of the 1994 Miss USA pageant.
Right.
Tell us about some of your... Isn't she great? I love it. I love you.
What?
Tell me about some of your accomplishments.
First of all, God has been awesome. He has really afforded me some great opportunities, and it definitely goes back to Miss Virginia, which was amazing. It happened the year that my mother passed away with breast cancer.
I remember that.
Didn't even know if I could follow it through. And by the grace of God, we were able to do it, and I was able to win and compete in the Miss USA pageant and become first runner-up. And from there, moved to Los Angeles and pursued a career in acting and television hosting, and met my husband soon after that, and then moved to Dallas. So, you know, the pageant really just gave me a platform to pursue my dreams, which was television hosting and broadcasting.
Wonderful. Wonderful. High five.
High five.
Yes, yes. We're going to talk more with Emmett and Pat when we come back, so please stay with us. I'm so glad.
Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs is sponsored in part by 5 Links. 5 Links is committed to being in the forefront of the telecommunications industry and offers products and services throughout the United States and worldwide. Services include Global Links digital phone, cellular services, satellite TV, high-speed internet, Global Links Wi-Fi phones, and 5 Links home security. For more information, call 1-800-575-4021 or visit our website today.
Welcome back to Daily Balance. If you've just joined us, my guests today are Emmett and Pat Smith. Thank you all guys again so much for being here. And right before we went to break, Pat, we were talking about just some of your accomplishments because you have so many that we could focus on. But I really wanted to delve more into the organization that you're the founder and CEO of, Treasure You.
Yes.
So tell us about that a little more.
Well, Treasure You, it's my baby. I absolutely love it. It's my passion.
In addition to your 4 kids.
Exactly. In addition to my husband and my 4 kids, Treasure You is my other baby.
Okay.
And basically, it was birthed because I found that there was a lot of women who were living in the shadows of something, whether it's their husbands, their children, their jobs, their professions. And I said, you know what, it's time for us to step out of these shadows and start working clearly in what's passionate for you, what's your purpose, why did God put you here?
That's right.
And I found so many women over the years that were struggling. My struggle was, you know, when Emmett was doing Dancing with the Stars, which was amazing, but at the same time, I felt like I was lost in that. Look at him, he's looking at me.
He's like, I didn't know that, baby.
I'm just paying attention. I'm just listening.
This is not new news to him.
This is not new, okay.
No, trust me, he heard a lot about it. But really, it was great, and it was an awesome experience, and I'm glad he won. Thank God he won. But for me, I kept saying, I was sitting on the sidelines, literally wondering, but what about me? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
And so after that, God placed in my heart to formulate a retreat for women, just like me, that were married to awesome men, high-profile men, where we could come together, where we could share in a very intimate, safe environment. And Kim, it was amazing. We had 20 beautiful women who came together that weekend.
I know I saw some of the footage. It was beautiful occasion.
Beautiful women. And since the retreat, so many of those women have stepped out in their passion.
Yes.
And have, you know, launched successful careers, successful charities that they are, you know, very passionate about. And so once I got back, all of my other friends were like, okay, that was cool for them, but like, what about us?
What about the other regular everyday folks?
Exactly. And you know what? I said, you're absolutely right, because we all have the same challenges. And so from that, I launched a segment on Good Morning Texas, back at home.
That's right.
Yes.
I saw that. You do an awesome job on it.
Thank you.
And tell us how the segments work, because I've seen some of the high-profile women that are featured on your show, right there from the Dallas area, correct?
Absolutely. I call it our big old pajama party for all the women across North Texas to meet up every Monday to share and to grow and to inspire one another.
Wonderful.
So yes, we do highlight high-profile women, but we also highlight just amazing women that are doing great things in the community.
Oh, tell them about that woman that received the award. I saw she was so happy.
Was she the Mother of the Year?
She was the Mother of the Year.
Oh,
tell us about that.
Kim, like, you were amazing because you got 5 kids, and like, okay, we have 4. But 5. This woman has 8 children.
Right.
And she is now opening an orphanage over in the Dominican Republic where she'll have even more children. But she's a beautiful woman. She's a stay-at-home mother who basically tutors and, you know, teaches her own children at home. And so she was our mother that we honored, because I just think there's so many unsung heroes in our community that don't get the recognition that they so deserve.
And she was so touched.
Wasn't
so
she sweet?
Surprised.
She couldn't say anything. And I mean, literally, it was like, so what do you think? And I'm like, pumped. Like, I've been waiting for her all week. I couldn't wait to interview her and to surprise her. And I'm like, so what do you think? And she was like, thank you.
You know, one of the best things about that was the woman's daughter actually wrote into the show and recommended her mom, which is so awesome when a daughter can recognize her mom and want her mom to be recognized for the contributions that she's making, not only in that individual personal life, but also in the whole family's life.
And now, I mean, they're taking that to the Dominican Republic, you know, to build an orphanage. So they're going to bless so many more children through her program.
Well, Treasure You is what Pat Smith is the founder and CEO of. And you can learn more about Treasure You at treasureyou.org. And you can also visit my website at dailybalancewithkim.tv to learn more about Treasure You. That's an awesome, awesome story. Now, I also want to make sure that we share with people how your paths personally crossed.
Now, we got two versions.
Well,
Which one do
you want? You want the real version or you want Emmitt?
Okay,
Go
Emmitt,
ahead. Go ahead. Give them the real version.
Give us the real version, please.
Give them the real version. Please do.
No, we actually met in Aruba.
Oh, wonderful.
We met in Aruba back in '97. And we both were going through breakups.
Okay.
You know, so we kind of came there. Literally, I went with some friends of ours from school that encouraged me, said, you really need to get away. And he had some friends of his that said, you need to get away. And we ended up on this island at the same time. And he was there with a mutual friend who I didn't know knew Emmitt. But anyway, he introduced us. And when I met him, I thought, God, what an amazing guy. Like, he just seemed so kind. And so...
I had my swag on.
Oh yeah, he had his swag on. I wasn't the only one who was noticing the swag either.
Oh, boy.
Because he was getting all kind of attention, and I wasn't a real big football fan at the time. Now I'm a huge fan. But then I wasn't, and so I kept going like, man, you must be, like, good. Like, you know, like, really good. And so anyway, we connected, and we danced all night.
Oh.
She wouldn't give me her number.
Oh, okay.
Which was appropriate.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I took the liberty to give her every number I could possibly think of in terms of trying to give her somehow, some way to get in contact with me.
Pager. Cell phone,
fax
office,
line,
home.
He meant that you were going to be
Mama's
his woman,
number,
right?
Mama's number, assistant's number, cousin's number. Call me. Just call me.
You did the right thing to make sure that she was not going to get too far from you.
Exactly.
Before we learn more about you all and your rendezvous, from this super couple, we're going to talk more with Pat and Emmitt when we return. You guys are crazy.
Daily Balance with Kim Jacobs is sponsored in part by the Rock Worship Center, Church of God in Christ, located at 1113 Fordham Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. The Rock Worship Center, making disciples through evangelism, exaltation, and edification. For more information, call 704-358-4167 or visit our website at rockworshipcenter.org.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm sure you're enjoying Pat and Emmitt Smith, because I'm surely enjoying your version, my version, and all the different our version.
We're going to always keep it real, Kim.
That's
so
good.
That's
a good thing. But you know what? Speaking of keeping it real, you have yours, you have mine, and you have ours. So you have a whole blended family, and our audience needs to know, how in the world do you deal with the kids, 4 children, the challenges that come along with that, the whole blended family thing? How are you balancing that?
Woo.
It's not easy. Trust me, not by any stretch of the imagination is it easy. But, you know, I think the key to it, though, is to keep the focus when you have blended families, keep the focus on the children. Because as adults, I honestly believe that we should be smart enough to really make good choices for the sake of the child.
Right.
And as long as we keep the focus on the children, then we as adults can work out we can work out our differences later. Yeah. And so the most important thing is just making sure that that child is getting the love, whether it's in our house or in the parents' house, but they're getting that love and they're getting that support that they need to be good people.
Right. And I mean, I think a lot of it is, just to piggyback Emmitt, and he's totally right, we focus on the children, but forgiveness. You know, a lot of times if you're coming into the situation, there's been something bad that may have happened to get you there, a breakup of some sort. Right. So you have to forgive that person. You have to constantly forgive. Amen. Look. You're going to have to forgive that person to be able to move forward. Yes. You have to forgive your children. You know, kids they know where to dig, you know, so they can kind of dig.
Don't make me get my daddy.
Exactly. Well, I'm going to tell my mama what you did.
Yes.
But we have really, I don't know, I guess, worked really hard to not to put them in a position where that they're feeling any of the brunt of that.
Oh,
you know, so as far as our hearts being pure and clear, and then you have to constantly forgive your spouse. You know, constantly. I mean, Emmett and I were.
You always touch him.
I'm like, you okay?
You always touch him every time you say a word. Like, well, Emmett.
No, really, because I mean, we're human,
right?
But we make mistakes. We may say things or do things. Sometimes there's miscommunication at times.
Yes.
Constantly.
Constant miscommunication. So it's kind of, I'm constantly forgiving him. He's probably has to constantly forgive me. So I've always forgiveness is the key because you can't get rid of each other. I tell people, don't think you can't divorce your blended family. So that ex is going to be in your life. You're going to have graduations together. You're going to have weddings together, birthday parties together,
soccer events,
sports,
all kinds of stuff.
So if you're going into that with a resentful attitude or spirit, you can't move past it, and the kids feel it.
Yeah, I like to look at it from the standpoint of rising above the fray, and in terms of just learning how to just work with one another. Period. You have to.
Right.
We are the adults in the whole thing. These kids did not ask for any of this stuff, so it is our job to not allow our issues filter down to our children.
That's a good point.
And so keep our issues separate and apart.
That's right. That's right.
Because that child came in this world thinking that, hey, this is going to be great.
And they just want mommy and daddy.
They just want mommy and daddy. That's it.
And they're trying to figure out what's this and what's that. How come it's over here? How come it's different over here versus over here?
Right.
Well, in our house, this is the way we work.
Right. Oh, speaking of which, that one point right there, that's what I'm going to next. Once you finish your point, I need to know about the discipline piece because that facial expression you just gave right there is the epitome of what we're going to talk about.
In our house, this is how it works. Over there, I don't know what goes on over there, but in here, this is what's going down over here. Either you comply or you have to deal with the consequences.
Interesting. So what is how this works and what is the love and the discipline piece of it? How do you all deal with that with the blended family?
Well, first of all, we give love. My house, our house, to me, it feels, the whole environment feels nothing but love.
Good.
That's what
High five.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's what, and so with that, it's kind of easy because we run our household as if all of our children are there anyway, and this is the way it's going to be.
We don't use step in our house.
No, we don't.
So it's my brother, it's my sister.
Oh,
it's
that's good.
yeah, we